Students learn best when they can make connections. When they can make connections to themselves and to the real world. With the diversity of today's classrooms, educators need to ensure we give all of our students the opportunities to make those connections. Culturally responsive teaching. What is it? Well, culture doesn't just come from other parts of the world. Keep in mind that race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, ability, age, religion, and political affiliation are all factors that play into one's cultural identity. A culturally responsive classroom creates an environment where everyone can feel they are represented and that their experiences matter. So, where to begin? There are steps you can take to create a culturally responsive classroom. First, evaluate or reevaluate your classroom. Books that include stories from all cultures and parts of the world should be part of every classroom and library. Harry Potter is great, one of my favorites. But Akata Witch is fantastic too. It's a magical story set in Nigeria about a girl discovering her powerful magic. Books like this give every student opportunity to see another part of the world and its culture, and give students from that part of the world a chance to see themselves, family, or friends. Second, encourage students to use their prior knowledge. Projects could be centered around different life experiences while taking care not to make students feel awkward or singled out. Third, get to know your students. Knowing your students and their backgrounds can help you make connections, understand any sensitivities, and have an overall better understanding of each individual in the classroom. Fourth, address inequalities. We should model inclusion and acceptance. We should be aware that there are things that have been handed down to us from older generations that we may not even be aware are insensitive or send inappropriate messages. Linguistic diversity in ESOL, or English to speakers of other languages. This provides some great opportunities to make connections in a classroom. There are some tools and strategies that can make the most out of the opportunity. First, we want to create a welcoming and predictable classroom. Post the schedule every day so students can see it. Use predictable signals for things such as lining up, getting attention, and transition times. Get to know the student and the student's family if possible. Where did the student come from? Are they coming from a traumatic background? I had students who came to my classroom right after Hurricane Maria struck Puerto Rico, and knowing that was very important. Modify your speech. Speak slowly and enunciate. Provide visual aids as much as possible. Model directions or steps that need to be taken. Play games and other activities. Games like Simon Says and Headbands can help students use language skills in a fun, less stressful way. And there are many technological tools we can use to facilitate an ESOL classroom. Teaching students with visual or hearing impairments has many of the same philosophies as we've already discussed. First, let's look at students with visual impairments. You should know the degree of blindness in the student. Is the student totally blind, or can they see large print text? Know the background of the student. How did they lose their sight? Were they born blind, or did it come later in life, so that they have some sort of visual memory of things like colors and objects? If the student is totally blind, create a plan for reading services if needed. Set up a plan to translate text into Braille, have volunteers read and record, or find resources such as YouTube videos or ebooks that have the story read aloud. Think about the classroom setup. If the student can partially see, where should they be seated? If the student is totally blind, the teacher will need to talk through everything put on the board. Utilize the student's other senses. Use hands-on materials and real-world objects whenever possible. For students with hearing impairments, get to know them. If showing a video or including something with audio, ensure captions or a script is available for the student. Know the student's background if possible. If you can, know where they're coming from. Are they immigrants or refugees? Help them learn how to survive in an English-speaking country, like filling out forms, English-speaking gestures, and body language. Use assistive devices whenever possible. Things such as amplifiers, text-to-speech, mobile devices for texting, and of course, evaluate the environment. Is there a fire alarm that flashes? Seat the student away from chatty students or noisy distractions. When creating a culturally responsive classroom and a classroom built for students of all backgrounds and experiences, The things to keep in mind are connections and making the student feel their life experiences and abilities matter.